Hello, dear listener, and congratulations for once again joining the Fantasy Sports Scout European Edition. Once more, I'm Edward, and I'm gripped by Euro Championship fever, and I'm joined by
Julia here. Hello again. I'm just searching for the wonderful website of UEFA, which apparently has plenty of sponsors and plenty of contests by sponsors. So I'm really into that. You can make your predictions there, by the way.
This is going to be a rather special episode, and you might notice from our tones of voices that the Euro fever has gripped us so much that we're pretty dazed and tired. But we will be talking about the last group of the Euros and arguably the best. Here we go, sound effects. Also watch out in the bottom part of this edition. We will be discussing one of the fantasy football games that we have been playing and actually taking a random pick at one of their player packs, seeing
Live.
what we get there. Yeah,
live. So we're gonna buy some packs live and see what we have in the pack. Players, I mean. And but today, first of all, we're going to talk about the last group, which is Group F. I need to find it, but from what I remember,
and it is
probably
by far the most exciting. It's what in the past they would have called a group of death. But this time around, since 3 of the teams could qualify, I don't know if that still applies. It certainly has at least 2 of the best teams in the Euros, and one of them who's something of a sleeping giant of late. So without further ado, let's talk about Group F, and let us start with most probably the best team, objectively speaking, at the Euros.
And
that is France.
In your opinion?
They are the world champions right now.
Just by complete accident, but go on.
They're by accident world champions.
Yes. Sometimes things happen, and some people believe in luck. Some people believe it was hard work. I think it was an accident. Sorry.
Right. They do have a pretty amazing squad, and most of the team that won the World Cup 3 years ago is returning. Football fans should be familiar with pretty much all the players on the list here. We will obviously also preview the other teams, but we need to mention this. The only thing that could stop France possibly is the fact that they do play against 3 very reputable teams in Germany, Portugal, and even Hungary. Jules, with arguably not so much knowledge, where do you think France is gonna go this time around?
Well, obviously the first stop is in Munich.
Yoik.
And then they have another one in Budapest, and
comedy gold right here.
Well, it is true. So they're gonna be playing on the 15th against Germany, their first game in this group.
So no home advantage. This is a new thing that UEFA is doing. Some of the teams in the Euro are getting home advantage. Some, like France, aren't.
Yeah, but Germany is, so.
Do you think that's gonna matter a lot?
In this particular case, because France is, world champion, and Germany a former champion, I think it's gonna matter for them, and I think it's gonna affect the morale of the team. I'm not a big supporter of France, as you can tell. So but we are all entitled to root for whatever team we want. I'm rather into the German team. So I wish them all. I wish the France fans and the team a great match, in a way, a great game. But yeah, I don't mind.
From what I saw, manager Marcel Deschamps is playing mostly the same system that he used in the World Cup. Not a lot has changed in regards to that. Obviously, that was very successful. There are only a few changes in the squad.
When you say system, you mean like the same team players?
No, that was exactly what I was saying. That there are a few changes, but I mean like the formation and the strategy.
Okay.
It should be very similar to that. It's probably a 4-2-3-1 or something similar to that. He usually plays with two pivots. One of them is almost always the very resilient N'Golo Kante, and he always plays with a striker. That's been the biggest story of the France squad this year, because Karim Benzema obviously has returned to the squad. Not many people expected it. He was involved, as a lot of people would know, in a sex scandal that kept him away from the national team. That means that Olivier Giroud will probably start on the bench. There are a lot of reasons to get excited about this squad, but since we are mentioning, usually we mention a player to watch, of course you have players like Marcus Thuram that I'm hoping will get some playing time. But obviously the big player to watch is Kylian Mbappe.
Okay. But I can see they have a lot of forwards, so how can they afford to play with only one forward when they have like I don't know, 7 or more?
Right, yeah. Well, in modern football, usually in the past, teams just played with 2 forwards, something like that.
Yes.
But right now, it's when I mentioned like 4-2-3-1, the 3-1, the last part. So that's one. That's a striker that just plays in front of the goal, and there are 3 attacking midfielders, let's say. So, for example, Antoine Griezmann, he's not exactly a striker, but he's not exactly a midfielder either. He's something in between, so they're just listed as forwards.
Oh, I see. And also, I have another question. You said that they're going to keep their formation and strategy. Isn't that some sort of extra info that probably the other teams or coaches might be aware of, and probably will be detrimental to the France, game in general?
Oh, it could be, yeah. But there are usually 2 types of managers in these competitions. The ones that change their formation every game, just depending on who they play against, and the ones that they stick to their team. And since France is such a good squad, they're probably just gonna stick to their team. I'm not a betting man, but when it comes to betting odds, they're usually the favorites, yeah. So out of all the teams in the Euros, they have the biggest chance, I guess, of winning it.
Well, yeah, they have a team populated with really big names from European clubs. They have Pogba from United. They have Kante from Chelsea. I know most of them, I guess. Mbappe from Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah, they have other players from Real Madrid. You mentioned Benzema, of course. Barcelona, Dembele. Yeah.
So it is a who's who, and even though all of them are really good and they just won the World Cup, I think a lot of it is also hinges on how good Mbappe will be, because he's really good, but he hasn't reached his full potential, which is almost scary. He's already won the World Cup and made it to the Champions League final, but a lot of people don't think he's at his full potential. Who knows what else he can do? So if he's in top form and well motivated, it could really help France a lot. Yeah, definitely an exciting team to watch.
Do you have a favorite player from this team, or like a star?
Yeah.
I mean, they're all stars, but like super favorite.
I think I like the one that everybody likes. He's probably the most popular footballer in the world right now, and that's N'Golo Kante.
Okay.
Chelsea. He just won the Champions League, and his, it almost goes without saying, his, this unbeatable, incredibly intelligent player, and probably, I think we can already talk about him as one of the best ever. I think it's no stretch. But going from one team that's still producing the goods to one team that has arguably stopped, let's talk about Germany.
Germany, yeah, of course. So since Romania is not a constant player in this in these kind of championships, I started to extend my options and horizons, and decided to root for the German team. And I remember I was rooting for them at the last World Cup. Yeah, it was a World Cup.
Yeah.
And they lost, and I was in Germany back then, and I was in this huge Biergarten. In Germany they have Biergardens, and there were like 2,000 people. They were all rooting for the German team. It was a huge fest, like huge beers and everything, and everyone was really disappointed when they lost. I don't remember exactly. It was the game against...
I don't think they made it past groups.
Yeah, but it was...
I think Sweden or something knocked them out.
Something...
No, it was... wasn't it South Korea?
Yeah, it was something really unexpected.
It was South Korea, I think.
And everybody... Just imagine 2,000 people were so disappointed that it was almost completely quiet in that garden. Yeah, I remember that. It was, well, I was even wearing a Germany shirt, So
silencing the Germans.
Yeah, that's
not easy to do, especially since they've been so successful in this European Championships. But a big talking point here is that this will be manager Joachim Löw's last tournament in charge of Germany.
He's also famous, like, to be their coach.
Yeah, and he's going to be replaced by his former assistant, Hansi Flick. In the meantime, Hansi Flick obviously took over for Bayern and was successful there. A lot of people, very knowledgeable about football, believe that Germany is going to be like the big disappointment of the tournament.
Now, in this tournament you're talking?
Unfortunately, yes. There's a lot of...
You're all wrong.
Yeah. There's a lot of unrest in the German side.
Why?
Is what I'm hearing. There are a lot of examples. One of them is the fact that Hansi Flick, last time around, he decided to, forcefully retire a couple of his players, and he's now had to bring them back. And those are Thomas Müller and their defender Mats Hummels from Borussia Dortmund. They haven't been playing that great. There's not a lot of cohesion there. They're playing really slow, and there's always this thing where some players and managers just stick around too long, and it feels like the case here as well. With that being said, they still possess a very reliable squad.
Well, yes, they have plenty of players from Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, like really good teams. RB Leipzig, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that the problem is not so much the squad, but the cohesion and the fact that some of the better players like Kai Havertz and Timo Werner just won the Champions League with Chelsea, but they haven't really done it at international level. And there was this thing about Germany where they had certain players that just played really well in international competitions, even though they were older, like Miroslav Klose, and there was Jürgen Klinsmann before that. I don't know if they really have the spark to do it right now.
But they could.
But they could, and they're the sort of team that nobody really wants to play against, do they? You don't want to upset the Germans. I think they might make it out of the group, but they've been handed a pretty tough one. We could see some surprises. Players to watch, I think there are quite a few, but most of them you've probably already seen playing for Germany. I would say Robin Gosens from Atalanta. He's a wide defender, a wing back with very sort of attacking skill. He's one that I really want to watch. Haven't really seen that much playing for Germany. I'm also interested in seeing. I'm a big fan of Gundogan this year. He's played such a great game for City.
So he's a player for Manchester City.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna have a bigger role in this team. As well, I'd like to see Serge Gnabry, although he's a player that really benefits from like counter-attacking plays. And Germany, like I said, they're pretty slow. They feel like an old team.
wouldn't say slow. I think they have a pretty strong strategy and tactic, and I don't know a lot about football, but that's my feel. And I think it will depend a lot on the moment.
Have you ever seen like an old man trying to open a door or climb a hill?
Yeah, that's very rude.
So that's kind of what Germany is right now.
Yeah, that's your opinion, but you are entitled to it. So, but nobody asked it. So I think Germany has a wonderful chance. And even with this group, the thing is that this group, after we'll finish, I'll give you a bit more of my personal insights. I think it's going to be a spectacular one, at least exciting, or a lot of things to watch. While some of the other groups might be a bit, what we say, boring. This group, I think, has enough spark to keep us watching.
That's true. Very entertaining football, potentially. Let's talk next about the team that I really want to watch, that I'm supporting feverishly, I would say, and that is
Portugal.
Portugal,
I thought you
the
were going to
winners
pronounce
of the last European Championship.
Oh, so last time they won it? Yeah.
Last time they won it, not convincingly. They were very lucky.
Oh yeah. Who did they play in the finals?
They played against France and won 1-0. Not a lot of people remember a lot of those games because it wasn't a very entertaining Portugal side. That is true. But in the meantime, they have gotten better, even though their star player has gotten older.
To those who don't know, Ronaldo is Portuguese.
Cristiano Ronaldo is indeed Portuguese, but they've added a few really good players, and also kept the really important ones like Pepe that they already have. This is the team that I'm revealing to be a supporter of in this Euro. I really hope that they win. I think they're one of the favorites among like the 3 or 4 favorites. What I like about them this time is especially their squad. They have a lot of depth. They have a lot of very skillful players. A lot of imagination there. I don't know how offensive they're actually going to be. But I'm loving the chance of seeing players like Bruno Fernandes and Bernardo Silva and Ronaldo and João Felix and Diogo Jota from Liverpool.
All playing together. I think that's the excitement part for you. I just want to add that Bruno Fernandes is also forward at Manchester United, of which you're a big fan. So I think that plays a part in your decision to root for Portugal. I want to say that
similar color shirts too.
Yes, they do have a similar color for their jersey. I just have a question. Like, I think I asked you this before, but I want to hear the answer again. So I noticed that some of the players have their full name. Let's say like Bruno Fernandes, like we mentioned already, and then you have Pepe. Like that's it. Like it's Pepe his first name or last name, or which one is it? Or is it a nickname? I'm really confused.
We should actually look that up, but usually it's like a tradition in Brazil that if a player is like really good, they'll just call themselves like one word, like short, like Slash is just his Slash, and it's like Pele is just Pele, and because the Portuguese.
This is Pepe.
Yeah, because the Portuguese. No, I'm saying like the most famous one is Pele, probably, right? Or Neymar. From the Brazilians are the most famous ones, and since Portugal and Brazil are very sort of tied together, I'm thinking that has to be it. But I'm actually looking up Pepe's real name, and it is.
Oh my God! It's not even Pepe.
Laveran de Lima Ferreira. So to answer your questions. No, Pepe is not even included in his real name.
So it's basically a nickname.
So it's a nickname, but I think it's like one of those things, like if you just have like one nickname, it means you're really good.
Okay, but like, do all players get to choose their nickname and to print it on their jersey, or, I mean,
Like, would they give that to you if you really sucked and you played for like a lower tier Romanian side.
No, like, is this
Probably not.
exactly? Yeah. Why isn't this a rule for everybody? Like, oh, you're like special, so we're gonna, give you this nickname, or you can choose it and you can put it on your jersey when you play, and or not.
The
Like,
thing is that occasionally
what is that?
they run out of names. So, for example, there was one really great player, Ronaldo, before Cristiano,
Yes,
the
I
Brazilian,
remember
right?
that. Yeah.
And if you look it up, there are a lot of Ronaldos, like younger ones, like Brazilian players that just call themselves Ronaldo.
Oh.
So like, or there's like one in.
But don't they get confused then?
You would, but fortunately they haven't gotten famous enough.
Okay.
Right. There's one that I really like. It's funny. In Romania, there's a Brazilian player. He goes by one name, and it's there was a French player in the 80s, Michel Platini.
No, but okay.
Right, and this Brazilian guy, he just calls himself Platini.
Because he's a fan of that original player?
I don't know, but it's really funny to see him.
Is he good?
Not really. He plays for like a team that just relegated from Romania, the top Romanian league. So how good can you be? But yeah, he's Platini, and yeah. But I don't know if it works unless you're Brazilian or Portuguese.
So this rule applies only to Brazilian Portuguese teams?
I think you could do it, but it'd be just weird if you were like a German, German, and you just decided, I'm not gonna be called Hans Zotter. I'm just gonna be called Hansi, and like, I don't think they're gonna take it.
Yeah, well, that was my question, because people might get confused, because I'm confused. Most players, like even Cristiano Ronaldo, calls himself Cristiano Ronaldo on his jersey, right? He has his all his name. Well, I don't think that's all. I think he has other names too, but two of his names, and then you have other nicknames. Anyway, that's interesting. Basically, this means that the Portuguese team has a lot of stars.
A lot of stars and a few players that maybe not so many fans know about, but they want to check out. And I would single out, you've probably heard of them too. Renato Sanchez scored their winning goal in the last Euro, but he's just getting really good right now. He played incredibly for Lille this season, so watch out for him.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Rafael Guerreiro, the wing back for Dortmund, he's had a really good couple of seasons. But there are so many great players, and a lot of them you probably know. The biggest worry for the Portuguese will be who they will start up front. They usually play with also, 4 attacking players.
4 attacking players?
Yeah, they usually.
Isn't that a lot? Because you just mentioned that
just like France, they play like a 4-2-3-1. So the big question is, Ronaldo is going to start every game most likely, but who are going to be the other 3 players? And it's the 4 that are in contention are Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Diogo Jota, and João Felix, and of course one of them will have to miss out on some action, but there will probably be some rotation from manager Fernando Santos, 66 years old and still managing the Portuguese side.
Isn't that like I think in this team and the Portuguese team, I think will feel a lot of pressure.
Right, yeah.
Like people will watch them, follow them, and they're gonna expect like a spectacular game, like good game. They're gonna expect to see Ronaldo on the pitch all the time, and he's not that young anymore. He's like 37 or what?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Ronaldo's probably gonna have to come out and just say, guys, just lower your expectations. We're not that good.
No, they're good, but and then you have like a lot of players that are some sort of stars, like some are big stars like Bruno Fernandes, and they're all gonna want to shine. So isn't that gonna be a problem with the team play?
It really could be, but as Bruno says it, dreams can't be buy. And
what's that supposed to mean in this context? I'm just talking.
I'm just trying to integrate it wherever I can. It can be, if you have too many stars, it sometimes can be a bit worrisome. But I think there's no other star bigger than Cristiano, and that will account for a lot. They have their leader.
And then if Cristiano or one of the others really miss out on an opportunity to score, then people are going to be even more disappointed than with the other teams, and I think that's just unfair. Well, yeah, I'm just saying. Anyway,
let's talk about the minions of the group, but a team that could cause a few surprises. I think they're actually pretty exciting, and that team is...
So Hungary is the last fourth team of Group F. They're going to play against Portugal. That's going to be the first game in the group, so that's going to be really interesting. So let's see if we can manage to read any of their names, of the players' names. I cannot, but
we usually can, because we're truth be told, we've been to Hungary, and we're pretty close by. So just in a nutshell, for anyone who doesn't know, the team qualified in, I think it was like the last minute of their final game against Iceland.
Oh yes, another very interesting
So
team.
it's a bit of a surprise that they did qualify, but they definitely have a few very exciting players. The big news, unfortunately, is that their most exciting player, the one that actually scored their winning goal, Szoboszlai, he is injured and will not be taking part.
Like in any game in the Euro, he's just not in the squad. Okay.
Just not in the squad. But they do have a couple of players, I think, that people would have heard about. They play in Germany, and for RB Leipzig, the goalkeeper Peter Gulacsi and Willi Orban, the defender. I've seen them a little bit. They're a tough team to play against. Roland Salai from Freiburg, the forward, is also quite interesting. They're quite resilient, and that's what they're gonna bring to the table here. A lot of people would expect France, Germany, and Portugal to just walk all over them, but I don't. I think they'll play a pretty defensive game, a pretty narrow width of the team, and they might even cause a few surprises. I think in a normal group they would have actually had a chance to qualify. And yeah, you notice this. They will have home advantage
for the first game.
And their second as well.
And their second as well, yes. They're going to play in Budapest against Portugal.
Yeah.
On the 15th, and then on the 19th, they're going to play again in Budapest against France. So I think this gives them a slightly slight advantage over their opponents, but still it's gonna be hard. I think Hungary has a really hard time in this group. They have Portugal, Germany, and France, all big champions to play against, and I don't know what's gonna happen, because all of these teams really want to get further down in this championship.
Right, and one thing I actually heard, and it's true for now, is that the stadium in Budapest is going to be the only one with 100% capacity.
Oh, is that even possible?
That might change before the Euro actually starts, but all the other stadiums, they have like 25-50%. This is full, so it might, and the Hungarian supporters are usually pretty loud and rowdy. This might help their team a lot. Is it enough to beat Portugal? I don't think so, but they're definitely not a bad side.
Do you think we can expect any surprises, like Hungary to win against Portugal, something like that? Is that possible?
I don't think against Portugal, but it looks like it's in the books for like a smaller team to do that. I think they could beat or get a draw from Germany. That might be like a big talking point. And as for players to watch, like I said, the big disappointment is that we don't actually get to watch their best player, Szoboszlai. But I really liked Willi Orban in the Bundesliga this year. So I think, especially in fantasy football, that might be one to watch out for. And also two of their more attacking players, Roland Salai and Adam Szalai from Mainz. Pretty strong, resilient players. They might do a job.
Okay.
Julia, who do you think will finish first and second?
Okay, obviously I'm gonna give you. I just wanna point out that you mentioned there are 6 groups.
Mm-hmm.
There are 6 groups, and from these 6 groups, the first 2 teams from each will qualify further, and also another 4 teams, like the best ones from the groups, something.
The best first place teams.
Yes. So basically, we will have 4 groups that will have 3 qualifying countries, right?
Right.
So in this case, I think Group F stands a pretty good chance, almost to have 3 qualifying teams.
Especially if they all beat Hungary, I guess, right?
Yes. And I'm sorry for Hungary. I have nothing against it, but I'm really rooting for Germany. So obviously, I think that Germany, France, and Portugal will succeed to pass through the group phase in Euro 2020.
Yeah, it should be pretty entertaining, and I think, let's be honest here, a lot of neutral supporters, they're just gonna catch games from this group. Because some of the games in the Euro won't be that exciting. I think we talked about like Sweden, Slovakia. I'd like to know how many people are going to watch that.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people, not just the people from their countries, but people from all over the world are going to be interested to watch France, Germany, or Portugal play.
Yeah, a lot of exciting players. Let's actually also go to one of our sections. Great sound effect. We call it
Boy, that stings.
Boy, that stings. It stings when you only know one player of a team, really, and he's not playing. That stinks. And in this case, for a lot of people, it's Dominik Szoboszlai from Hungary. He's objectively going to be the only player from their squad that they know, and he's out of the Euros. Whenever that happens, it stinks. Whenever you don't know any player and you're just kind of going like, where's that guy that I kind of know? Oh, he's not even playing well. I'm not invested in this anymore, am I?
Well, I think, I remember when Romania used to qualify for the Europeans or for the World Championship.
Oh, that was a long time.
What?
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago, but I still remember those times. And the thing is that even people that, like my parents, they never watch football, or some of my friends are so not interested in football, but even for them, it was kind of an event when Romania was playing in one of these championships. So people were just going out for drinks and watching the game, or having a party at home, and with snacks and beer and stuff. So it was kind of a eventful thing. It was nice, and people were watching the game because their national team was playing. So I'm guessing that for the other teams it's the same. Like even people in Hungary that don't normally watch or follow football, or maybe don't know even the basic rules of how a football game works, they're gonna be watching now, and they're gonna be rooting for their team. I mean, even us, if we had Romania in any of these groups, we would watch the game, right? Because it would be our country.
Yeah, and it also gives us like special permission to criticize. To just go like, look at that idiot, and then like, oh, he's my idiot.
Yeah,
right?
Something like that. I mean, you cannot say, oh, the German team is not good, or that one is not, the player is not doing whatever. When it's your team, it's your team.
You mentioned my favorite thing about the Euros actually earlier.
The beer?
Yeah, that was the beer, yeah. Last time I watched the World Championship, I don't know how many pounds I gained, but
because of the beer.
Because of the beer. Well, this time around, I'm taking it easy.
In this case, I can say, boy, that stings, because beer is good, but it can get you a bit fat.
Okay, let's actually go towards my favorite moment of this episode, and it's the one involving a fantasy football advice. Yay. And of course, we're also going to be opening up a pack from the game we're mostly going to enjoy this summer, and that's FootballCoin. So I'm going to open up a 5-player pack and just let you know what I have there. But let me give you some quick advice of what I'd look for in this group when it comes to fantasy football, because it is really simple. It's everything, as long as it's semi-cheap, which most of it isn't. So if you play fantasy football, whether it is the UEFA version or whether it's FootballCoin or anything else, you usually have a budget, and players usually have a price. Because all of the players in this group, except for the Hungarian ones, are so famous, they're going to be really expensive. So do you want N'Golo Kante in your team? Of course you do. Do you want Cristiano in your team? Naturally. Do you want Joshua Kimmich?
Yes.
I'm sure you do. They're all going to be insanely expensive because they're some of the best players in the Euros. If you can get them, get them. But for, something that flies under the radar, also take a look at the Hungarian team. And of course, I would especially advise Peter Gulacsi and Willi Orban from RB Leipzig, mostly because those are two of the only players I really know. I don't really watch the Hungarian league. I don't.
Yeah. But I'm just looking at the UEFA's website, and you still have time to build up a team here, and you get a budget, and basically each player has cost, a price, and you can buy that player and put it in your team. You can get the feel of being a football manager. That's really nice, and then you can change some of the players after each day of the games. But Eddie will go now through his favorite fantasy football sports manager game, and that is FootballCoin. And in FootballCoin, it's kind of the same but different. You get to choose your players from all the teams playing, but you can buy their cards, the cards with the players, and you get to keep them if you want, or you can only lease them for a certain competition, which can be actually a lot more dynamic. You get to really feel and experience what's like to be a football manager. Because I feel like the UEFA, a game that I'm seeing here on their website, it's nice, but it's kind of basic. Like there's not a lot of things you can do, and that's why Eddie was mentioning that you can buy packs for Euro in FootballCoin, and he will do so right now. But I can see he's now really focused on the players.
On the list, yeah, because so basically they're divided in 3 categories: 3, 4, and 5 stars. Obviously, they have different pricings. I'm gonna buy a pack of 4 stars just because I see more value there, and it's less expensive than the 5 stars. So let me tell you what I could get and what I want to avoid. So, best case scenario, I get like an Mbappe, Joshua Kimmich card. Worst case scenario, I get like an Alderweireld and Vertonghen card, or Pepe card. They're from Belgium. A Pepe card.
A Pepe card is not good.
Well, he's 38, so how long are you gonna actually use him?
You're gonna use him now.
I'm gonna use him now.
The thing is that you get these cards with these players, and you get to use them now for the Euros, but they also get saved in your account like forever, even for next year's competition, and you can use them in their national leagues. And that's kind of a big advantage. Or you can sell the cards afterwards, and you can
Yeah, I'm probably gonna just go ahead and like sell a couple of them. I bought an Ilkay Gundogan card yesterday for.
Isn't he playing for the German team?
Yeah. But I really like him, and I'm gonna use him, even after the Euros. So some people that buy cards, they're just selling off the stuff that they don't need. Or in the game, you actually have an option where you can exchange it for like a random card, but it's usually like a pretty good one.
Okay, let's cut to the chase.
There are 66 4-star rated player packs left, 5 cards each, and that's the one I think I'm gonna get. And I'm getting them now because the Euro haven't started, and because I'm afraid there won't be any left. So the system asks me if I want to pay for it, and I say
this is happening
yes.
live. So you get a pack, like you remember that Panini packs that you would get as a child, and you had the like the album to, you know.
I'm still thinking of getting some of those. They're great.
Yeah, you could stick the stickers on the album, and then you would have the entire album, and it was with everything, with cartoons and with I don't know, Disney characters and all kind of stuff. So now you get that same kind of package animation.
Yeah.
And then you get to open it.
Yeah, so
like you have to click open the card, and it just
tears open, right?
Yeah.
Like a bag that tears open. Let's see. So first card is Thiago Alcantara, and I already have him, so
you're not so excited.
Let's hope we can sell him. Not great.
Okay, next.
Jorginho, and I already have him too, but he's really good. So Manuel Neuer. Yeah, I have two of these, but
yeah. Well, as you can tell, Eddie is a huge fan of fantasy football, so he has quite an impression collection.
Oh, Aaron Ramsey of Wales he's playing, right? He's
Wales. He's playing for Wales.
Yeah, yes. I thought he was in. Well, it's good. It's good. And last, this should be like the worst one. It's it's Alvaro Morata.
But he's good.
Oh, I hate Alvaro Morata.
He's a Spanish player, and he plays at Juventus.
It's horrible.
Oh.
But okay,
Eddie's very picky.
Sell him. I'm gonna sell Alvaro Morata. And
so yes, as I was saying, Eddie's a huge fan of fantasy football, and he already has an impressive collection of football player cards in this game, and in most fantasy football games, I would add. I'm sorry you did not get what you want. What did you want to get?
I wanted a Kimmich card. I wanted a Joshua Kimmich card.
Because that's the one that's missing from your collection.
Yeah, he's so good. Yeah, or an Immobile card, the Ciro Immobile card. So I'm a big fan of his and of Italy, and I've watched Lazio this year a lot. Even a Rashford card would have been good, but actually a lot of them would have been better. But you get some, you win some, you lose some. It's still good because I can trade them. I can find somebody who maybe wants them, and I can.
Or you can lease them.
Or I can lease them out and get some money. Yeah.
Because if somebody doesn't have enough money to buy a card or a player from the market, they can always choose to lease that particular card of that player for one competition, and then usually the prices for a lease are much lower, so basically anyone can afford to lease a player. And if you are really a good manager, you can then win some currency from that competition, and then you will probably be able to buy your own cards afterwards. So it's kind of a entire economy, well structured in the game. And if you're as excited as Eddie for fantasy football sports, you're gonna find a lot of interesting stuff going on there.
Yeah, I'm actually texting one of my friends asking him if he wants Jorginho and what he gives, because I know he wants him, but it's like I'm not gonna just give it to him for free.
Yeah, it's amazing because so far we talked about all players and everything, and now you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna get my pack, and then I could read the disappointment on your face, and then you're like, okay, we're doing this podcast, but now I need to find somebody to get my cards. Like, this is happening real time, people. So Eddie is I just want to ask you, do you think right now, or 2 minutes ago, did you thought that, okay, after we finish this, we wrap this up, I'm gonna buy another pack?
Yeah, I was totally considering that, but you have to base yourself. They have different priced packs, so this is like an average one. I'm thinking of buying a 5-star one just because I have like a 1 in 4 chance of getting Ronaldo.
Okay, let's see that happening.
I'm still considering. That's expensive. I'm gonna debate it with myself. Maybe next episode. You know what?
Yeah, but next episode is gonna be probably when? After the first...
I'm thinking of doing like a preview, maybe.
A joint preview?
Yeah, we'll just see either that, or if we're too lazy, we'll do it after the Turkey-Italy game.
The thing is that it's gonna get really busy for us, especially Eddie being this football sports writer, and he's so much into sports, he won't have any time to talk during the games or after. But So, what are we going to promise to our fans? Because we already have some listeners.
Well, what we can say is that we are we can be depended on.
Yes, we can.
We can. We're gonna actually post throughout the Euros. So we're gonna try and preview and review most of the games in the Euros. Don't expect us to do Sweden Slovakia so much, but everything else, we will be giving fantasy football advice, because we will be following all the stats and every single game, even the ones played by Sweden and Finland.
Okay, we got it.
So expect a lot more content from us.
Actually, he's not kidding. 3 years ago, when it was the World Cup, he made me watch most of the games, literally.
And I think I watched every single one.
Yes, and I told you last time, I said something like, I think I never watched so much of anything in my entire life. And it was football.
That's why it's great when the Euros and the World Cup is on.
Yes, but we were watching teams like, I don't know, Denmark playing against whatever. Weird.
And with that glimpse of hope, that's it for the previews of the European Championship. Next time we'll hear each other, we'll be in even closer proximity to the actual event. Thanks for listening to us, and we will catch you soon, from myself and from Julia.
Okay, talk to you soon. Hopefully very soon.